The newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. Around 100 homeless overseas Filipino domestic helpers in Hong Kong were rescued by non-government organizations. This as they were reportedly fired from testing positive for COVID-19. In an interview with Philstar.com, the group NGO Help for Domestic Workers said 90% of employees they rescued are OFWs. In most cases, domestic workers experience homelessness for at least one full night before being rescued by the group. Recall that the Labor Department bellied reports that a number of OFWs in Hong Kong had been fired after testing positive for the virus. The League of Provinces of the Philippines appeals to the IATF to consult the local chief executives before downgrading LGU status to Alert Level 1. This comes after several LGUs outside Metro Manila admitted that they're not yet ready to relax their protocols due to several concerns. These include low vaccination rate and inaccurate data on case transmission, ICU admission, and hospital care utilization.
Kaya kailangan i-consulta yung mga governors kung anong yung gusto nila. Kasi mas alam nila yung nangyayari sa probinsya nila eh. Pag maayos na yung vaccination nila ng A2, A3, at saka yung A5, pwede na mag-alert level 1 kasi may herd immunity.
Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. Ukraine's Vice Prime Minister Mikhailo Fedorov announces the launch of an IT army to fight off Russian cyber attacks on Sunday. Fedorov now calls for volunteers from the country's hacker underground to help protect critical infrastructure and cyber spying missions against Russian troops. A destructive software allegedly fronted by Russia was earlier found circulating in Ukraine last week. The Russian army has been given orders to broaden its offensive in Ukraine from all directions after Kyiv refused to hold talks in Belarus. Russian forces have made thrust into the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv, before falling back to the outskirts. They are facing tough resistance on day 3 of the invasion ordered by President Vladimir Putin. And Germany and its allies are moving to cut off Russia from the global payment system SWIFT. This as countries continue to implement sanctions on Russia for its ongoing invasion of Ukraine. They also agreed to impose restrictive measures on Russia's central bank and warned to take further measures if Russia continues with its attacks. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. Filipino boxer Jerwin Ancajas failed to defend the IBF super flyweight crown after getting shocked by Argentinian Fernando Martinez. The undefeated Martinez overwhelmed Ancajas with power punches throughout their 12-round slugfest. Now, neither fighter went down, but Ancajas' significantly bruised face was enough proof that it was the Filipino defending champion who took the brunt of the punishment. Now, this proved to be enough for Martinez to take away the title from Ancajas via unanimous decision. The score were 117 to 111, 118 to 110, twice for Martinez. U.S. and U.K. ambassadors to the United Nations reacted to Russia's veto of the UN Security Council resolution calling for the immediate withdrawal of Russian forces in Ukraine. Let's watch this.
Colleagues, not surprisingly, Russia exercised its veto power today in an effort to protect Russia's premeditated, unprovoked, unjustified, and unconscionable war in Ukraine. But let me make one thing clear. Russia, you cannot veto this resolution. You can veto this resolution, but you cannot veto our voices. You cannot veto the truth. You cannot veto our principles. You cannot veto the Ukrainian people. You cannot veto the UN Charter. And you will not veto accountability. Responsible members of this Security Council have stood together today in the face of Russia's aggression, and we will continue to stand with Ukraine, supporting it in every way we can. We are united behind Ukraine and its people, despite a reckless, irresponsible permanent member of the Security Council abusing its power to attack its neighbor and subvert the UN and our international system.
Colleagues, a large majority of the Council has just voted in favour of a resolution aimed at stopping war. The resolution has not been adopted only because of the single veto of the permanent member of this Council who is perpetrating that conflict. Russia claims that its invasion of Ukraine is in self-defense. This is absurd. Russia's only act of self-defense is the vote they have cast against this resolution today. Make no mistake, Russia is isolated. It has no support for the invasion of Ukraine. History will record how we voted today and which countries stood up to be counted in defence of the Charter and the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Ukraine.
Now, for more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World Online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.